Mindset is everything when it comes to money. And depending on how you think about money and how you think about yourself in regards to money will largely determine how much of money you will have in the end and how much you will actually enjoy. In the past few years, I've been fortunate enough to meet with dozens of women who have had great success professionally and also as entrepreneurs, as franchise owners. And one theme that comes up again and again is women with immigrant backgrounds and how they think about finances. And there are two situations here that I encounter. First is when your parents were born somewhere else and they moved to the States years ago. And the second situation is when you were born outside of the US and then moved to the States as a child. In both situations, the conversation sometimes turns to, I'm from an immigrant family. Money is not a topic of conversations in our family. I didn't grow up with money. It's not something that my parents knew about, and that it stops me from thinking about money, and I'm afraid to invest. It's not something that feels natural to me. I understand those thoughts. It's quite natural to feel a little intimidated or feel that, hey, if I didn't grow up with those conversations, it's not something that is going to be easy for me to overcome. But here's what I would say. What I've seen is, money does not care where you come from. Money doesn't care what your background is, who your parents are, how you grew up. What money cares about is consistent attention towards it, good attitude towards it, good habits to accumulate it, to grow it, and to enjoy it. A lot of times money is viewed negatively as something that is not for you if you were born outside the US and you had a different system, a different way of thinking about money. And I think that's what's holding you back a lot of times when you're here and maybe you have a successful career or business, but it does not translate into having an investor mindset and having a mindset of my money needs to be working for me. There are quite a few books about this particular topic. One of my favorite ones is the Wealth Attraction book for entrepreneurs that's written by one of the most important and influential people in marketing, Dan Kennedy. And if you get a chance, get a hold of this book because it will completely change your mindset. But as a first step, understand that being from an immigrant background is not a limitation. And on the contrary, it's an advantage because you have that drive. You have that opportunity to learn, not from your parents' mistakes, but kind of put that aside and say, okay, how do I go from here and change my family's history and change the background and become somebody who owns their financial future? And I think that will serve you much better in just completely reframing that kind of thinking. It will take time, but once you get to a point where you're like, okay, I'm going to do this, then the world is yours.